I was going to say, this is the GSL. We closed right into that shot so quick. Over here, in the bottom left, our Zerg player losing the first game. Can he win the second? What is she drinking in the bottom left?
Oh, you know, I didn't. I wasn't looking.
You weren't looking?
I will look next time. Now I really want to know.
I really want to know.
I want to know so bad. Who's that?
Oh, here in the upper left? Well, that must be none other than I do like her hair.
Yeah. It's cool hair. You should dye your hair, Casey. Oh,
who are those guys?
Oh, my God.
I know those guys.
MLG people over there. You know who's shaking his fist at the monitor right now?
Who?
It's JP, man.
JP's
better known as Drumpelstiltskin. He's, he's fuming right now. He's like, I should be there.
I should be there with Tesos is drinking.
Well, guess what?
Oh, we get another shot of him again.
Yeah.
Excellent. Look, they're so handsome.
Yeah.
Little nerds.
Great guys over at the MLG, working together with the GSL to make esports even bigger and better.
So if you just watched the GSL, you should be watching the MLG as well.
Yeah, you definitely should be.
Are teaming up. All right. Forge expand build.
Of course, very standard.
Yeah, I mean, you actually have to do that on this map. You don't get to open up in other ways.
Probe just blocking that drone.
Whoa!
Bam.
Look, we got a zoom-in shot of that. We actually ended up zooming in the exact moment the pylon was made.
It was good. Observer's on fire, too.
I felt like I was going to crash into the pylon when we did that.
Oh, yeah? Well, it doesn't actually exist yet, right? Or I don't know. What is there exactly?
What do you mean?
Why can't you walk through there? Like, jump into that and go to
Because it's materializing, man. What if you walk through that and then you got stuck there?
Are you sure it's not a portal?
Oh, that might be a good point.
I want to jump into one of those tasteless.
That would make the game way too complicated.
I become like part of the Nexus. I'm like a hatchery, but not quite.
Well, you see, if there were portals in this Zerg, could just actually jump into the portals and get into IR. It would be a very inefficient way. But then again, I guess, yeah, no, they're not portals. It's actually the structure materializing. That has to be what it is.
No, I think it's portals, dude.
No, man.
It looks like a portal.
How do you damage a portal?
That's a very good question. Maybe the bolts go through the portal and hit the pylon back on IR.
No, man, that's just too far-fetched.
Okay. You win. I give up.
All right. So we have the hatchery at about half health here. Protoss going for double gas here. I don't know what kind of fast expand build he's going to do from here. It's not going to be any kind of weird gateway timing rush because we know he's taking a second gas. Unless we were to be like a 6 gate with a robo or something.
Yeah, I'd love to see something like that. I'm actually really impressed by HongUn. He played such a solid, safe style in the last game. And normally you see him just do like 1 or 2 base Blinkstalker all in. That's actually what we're used to. But, even though you use Blinkstalkers, you use them in kind of the more common nowadays way. Just went Blinkstalker, High Templar, and it was great, man. He played a very good game. The guy may win me over yet, Tasteless.
Hey, man, these players are always developing and changing their styles.
Yeah.
And look at San Zenith. We actually made so much fun of that guy.
Yeah, well, he deserved it back then.
Well, he deserved it, but then, he was totally new man now. Went from, blowing us away.
Well, we have some good scouting going on by HongUn. That's actually going to be so useful to see that drone there. So useful if you see... I don't think he saw it.
The drone hit.
That was a quick
nice
pull
move.
away by Zenio, man. Zenio's on top of stuff.
The Overlord tipped him off.
Yeah. Well, Starport coming up. Very standard. I'm quite used to seeing this. And I'm wondering, what I'd love to see is some mass Phoenix play. Let's start with your Void Ray, but really get a lot of Phoenixes and do that. I get sad when they only make 4 or 5. Lately, we've seen a lot of players getting 12-ish.
Phoenixes are just such an interesting unit because there's so much you can actually do with them.
Yeah, they're the one truly active unit for Protoss. I mean, Blinksuckers, kinda. DTs, kinda. But mostly it is, in fact, the Phoenixes that you can always go around, be active with, and really work hard to gain edges.
Now, gain edges? You mean gain an edge? How many edges do you want? Do you want 4 so you can have a square artosis? That's just ridiculous. Now, I want to point this out just before the game goes any further. He took all 4 gases.
Yeah.
And he only has a Stargate. So,
yeah. Got to start
really
saving that
teching up.
He's going to need some sentries later. He's actually got a lot of Chrono Boost saved up as well. Probably to just keep those Phoenixes pumping out, get some upgrades as well. Well, Zenio, he's looking pretty good, but he's making a little group of Zerglings. He's only at 44 drones against 38 probes, so somewhat similar economies, but Zenio is ahead on that, especially mineral-wise.
You know, overall, it looks like Zenio really positioned his Overlords well enough that this Void Ray shouldn't actually kill too much. I think a lot of Zergs got very comfortable with having their Overlords all over the map, and that's what made Protoss start to do this kind of stuff.
Ooh, this is actually somehow turning into a really nice harass. Look at that.
Yeah,
3 drones dead and an Overlord. 4 drones and an Overlord dead. This is actually great. You should move that Spore Crawler back. Spore Crawlers actually burrow quickly now. Oh, wow. I'm actually quite impressed. This Void Ray has already basically been worth its money. An Overlord and 4 drones. That's handsome, Tasteless. It's kind of like you actually, in a lot of ways.
My God.
He's
doing a Tasteless build.
Ah.
Now, yeah, actually, I'm on the same page as you. I mean, he actually might be able to kill his hatchery. I mean, the Queen's not out yet. And, of course, the Phoenixes could pick him up.
You know, as soon as that Queen pops out, he needs to unburrow the Spore Crawler. He needs to time it together so that the Spore Crawler and the Queen are both over there. So that Void Ray can't target one down at a time.
I don't see him taking it out. Artosis, this Queen's
man.
like, oh, I can't move fast on grass.
In fact, he's sending a slow Queen across the no creep to there right now.
Across the no creep?
Yeah, against the no creep. But what you do is you bring out
got him.
Well, he's going to go ahead and kill this Queen quite easily. That Phoenix may, in fact, end up dying. Nope. Doesn't.
Nope.
But Spore Crawlers actually burrow relatively quick.
Yeah, Zenio's handling this wrong.
Yeah, he's handling this
man,
so poorly.
Oh, dude, he's going to lose the hatchery. But there's Hydralisks on the way.
There are,
the hatchery's at like 10% health.
Hatchery's definitely going down, man. They have enough lifts in those Phoenixes, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, there goes one.
And he's got it.
And HongUn's unbelievably far ahead now, man. Wow. Zenio actually botched that. That was a huge botch.
He should have moved
the Spore Crawler.
I mean, even if he takes out, let's say, the Queen, the Spore Crawler, the Hydras would have been out there.
Yeah. No, but the Spore Crawler would have even made the Void Ray like fly around the side. It would have stalled it out long enough. And that's all you really have to do when you're actually going Hydras to defend that. So Zenio now pretty far behind. I mean, he's up 9 supply, but HongUn has every single tech, basically. Look at that. Look at all that tech.
Yeah, and he's going to get Colossi out here soon. Zerg has to spend all this time just trying to get up an additional base.
Zenio right now just throwing down a couple hatches, getting his roach speed, getting his OV speed.
Oh,
I like that right there, Tasteless.
Wow, really nice force fields by HongUn.
Yeah.
That actually couldn't have been better.
Completely right.
That's actually one of the harder force fields to do in that situation. You, like, have it, just a millimeter too far to the right or the left, and it bounces the sentry out on the wrong side.
It's pro force fields, man. Well, just had the Void Ray die to those Hydras. They avenged the hatchery.
Spire now on the way. A little bit too late. I mean, we already have enough Colossi out here.
You know, I like Zergs that see the starports, they see the Phoenixes, and they actually go Spire really quickly. I actually like that style, Tasteless. It seems counterintuitive, but you mix a couple Corruptors in, and the Phoenixes don't really do much. I don't know,
The only problem with Phoenixes, though, is that they're so fast.
They are quick.
They're like, all right, I'm out of here.
That's exactly what they're like.
That's what they say. They say it at Protoss.
I was at a party the other day with a Phoenix.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. The timing of the joke has dissipated.
It's too late, man. The world will never know what your joke was going to be.
That's all right.
You think it hurts if you're a Hydra trying to move around off creep and drag your little Hydra slug butt?
Your little Hydra slug butt. I like that.
Yep. Well, oh, dude, look at that. Gonna take out the gateway.
Putting his creep up behind the Hydra so they actually can get away if they need to.
So there's a little Hydra slug butts.
Yeah, man. We have already Thermal Lance up for HongUn, so he's not going to lose this expand. Just a little bit of harassment going on. You know, you may as well, as long as you can get away.
Taking 2 gateways out is a great thing. The second one now goes down.
Psystorm just finishing. Right now, HongUn has every tech and all the good units. He just has everything, man. He's sitting at 141 supply with High Templars, Phoenixes, Sentries, Colossus, Thermal Lance. Look at that. Right now, I bet you Zenio's thinking, well, what beats that composition? This is going to be pretty difficult. Probably Baneling drops, and that's exactly what he's going for.
It's interesting. He's actually going to lose a few Overlords here retreating. That actually might be pretty big because he might get supply block.
He doesn't have a lot of minerals, man. He's already lost a base. He's had a hard time with things.
Look at that. He's supply blocked now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an awkward moment to be supply blocked because the Protoss is actually out on the map.
Yeah.
I don't even know. HongUn might not have realized that. Looks like he thinks he's applying pressure. He's going to back off. He could probably engage a little bit further. But then again, there's no way for him to confirm that his opponent's supply blocked or not.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we do have Burrow on the way. Drops just about to finish. Baneling's being morphed. So it looks like Zenio going to go for some Baneling drops. If he can get some really good ones off, this could be really quite amazing in what he needs.
Oh man, it's really gutsy by HongUn to attack right into that nice storm.
And the Banelings all going down. Beautiful.
So sick.
Indeed, but did HongUn come out with too few units?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, man, the answer is he absolutely did. The Colossus still doing a good job, but
he needs to turn around after this. Yeah. He doesn't actually have the bulk that he needs. And, even with the Corruptors out here, I think the Colossus actually will. Well, the Corruptors are just going to go away. All right.
Colossus headbutts the Corruptor. He runs away.
Gets his Colossus club, pokes him, spears him out of the sky.
Well, we have a lot of roaches popping out, Tasteless, and as these pop out, he'll be able to clean up this army of HongUn. HongUn making quite a blunder here. When you have a perfect unit composition and 3 base against 4, don't attack it like 160 supply. Attacks at a max.
Yeah.
Still just trying to fight
Oh my god,
here.
the Colossus is still alive.
Well, it's finally gone now, Tasteless. You're not going to have any more nightmares about it. Justice has been served.
Thank God.
No, I know you were worrying about that.
I don't want to talk about it.
And HongUn has to run home. So let's just talk about this for a second.
Sure.
He lost all his sentries, all his High Templars, and almost all of his Colossus. Because he didn't wait till he maxed out. There was actually... I'm like trying to go through the thought process of why you would do that when you've actually just expanded and done all the techs at once. It actually just doesn't make sense. You're supposed to wait for that max death ball as Protoss. And it would have been 100 times worse if he hadn't got that Side Storm off that actually killed like 10 Banelings.
Yeah.
So this was actually a gigantic blunder, something that we shouldn't actually be seeing from a Codes player.
Well, you don't normally see somebody this deep into Codes get this far ahead and then screw it up.
Yeah.
Now, again, HongUn's pushing with a 150 supply. Zenio's at 177, so I think he might actually make the same mistake twice.
And, I mean, right now, HongUn even has, 1,400 minerals. If those were all Stalkers, man, that's a lot more Stalkers. It's 10 more. Well, some nice kiting going on. Those Zealots are just meat shields for the time being. If Zenio decides to attack this, he really has to spread.
Not a bad storm there.
Yeah.
A few more. I don't know if Zenio should attack, period, there.
Yeah, I don't know if HongUn should attack, period, here. We're going to see a nice big flank coming up here. The Corruptor's taking a moment to get over to the Colossi, and he's going to take out this whole army once again. HongUn with what I must say are pointless attacks.
Yeah, I don't know what he's expecting to get away with in these battles.
Yeah.
And he's like, just going to continue attacking. Now, let's see if this works. I don't know.
Zenio playing a little sloppy, I do have to say. He's a lot of Stalkers are on the way. 20
He
Roaches
did just lose the Observer. The Observer was just shot down, so Roach Bro could be a real reality here.
That's a very good point, Tasteless.
Thank you.
He's not using it right now, though, just kind of microing back Roaches, losing a few to the Zealots.
Zenio might just buckle here.
He actually might.
I think he's not supposed to.
HongUn's given him every chance to win this game, but Zenio being a little bit sloppy. Blink is almost done. As Blink does finish up, of course, we know HongUn quite an expert with Blink.
I think it finished up just a little bit too late here. Or will finish up just a little bit too late.
12 more Roaches and 16 Lings on the way.
Now
he's going to have to turn around.
Here's one factor is that he has managed to at least get an additional base that HongUn has, the upper right. But at the same time, Zenio is taking another main base in the bottom right.
And Zenio finds the base. Well, he's just going to send some units there now. HongUn doesn't really have a lot of money, doesn't have a lot of units. He's only at 121 supply. And if he keeps up the pattern he's been on, Tasteless, he's going to just attack again with a tiny amount of supply, 125 at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed.
Oh, these Corruptors could have a really good angle.
187 supply for our Zerg player at the moment. 80 of that is drones, 79 probes for HongUn, so his army actually pretty small.
Yeah, actually, I think Zenio couldn't be better off right now as far as composition goes.
Quite true. And look at that. No observer. Right? There isn't an observer here. But Zenio unburrows and chooses to lose some units instead of just
I don't know what the story with that was. If he just wanted to show off burrow, you know what I mean? Like, well, Zenio's going to have to keep his cool because Protoss took the upper right base. That means the rest of those bases are going to be easy to acquire.
Well, Zenio kind of attacking with a medium number of roaches into the bulk of the army of HongUn. And HongUn now, he's gaining his supply back. He's at 148.
Sneaky roaches. You take it from there, Tosos. That's the last thing I'm going to say is sneaky roaches.
And we have more and more roaches coming out here. They are 1-2 against the 3-1 Stalkers of HongUn.
I think Zenio's got this, actually.
Yeah, it looks like it.
For some reason, HongUn decided to switch into Stalkers, which, like, pure Stalker, which you can only do if you're winning.
Yeah.
You don't do that if you're losing. You're not like, I'm going to make the weakest unit for Protoss. In a moment like that.
But Zenio just keeps on bringing out this smaller clump of roaches. He's got a lot of these corruptors just floating around, not doing anything right now. And he's losing a lot of units on the way home.
There are drones in this. These guys have an identity crisis, that's for sure.
They wanted to be 2 Zerglings each, but in fact they just became 1 drone tasteless.
Yep. You know what, man? He's actually winning this.
Yeah, he is.
For some weird reason, Zenio is so comfortable attacking off creep.
Yeah.
Are we going to see the same thing happen again? He's going to burst in.
He's
actually more Zerglings with this army.
HongUn is ahead on supply tasteless. 154 to 149.
There's a lot more Stalkers moving out here, too. He's punishing him pretty heavily, Artosis.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Oh, don't lose that Observer again. Blinking forward.
Fungal Growth does go off, but he just kind of needs to do more damage, man. He needs to really get his macro going.
We have more Stalkers coming, too.
Wow. Just never-ending lines of Stalkers, not even from a proc spawn, just from the main base of HongUn. HongUn keeping that extra 4th base alive. That's allowed him to be on 2 bases and really support, making a ton of Stalkers. But Zenio, once again, does shove him back because at the end of the day, this is just pure Stalker in a very late game scenario.
Yeah, you can micro Stalkers 3 or 4 times, but eventually they're so low on HP, it doesn't matter if you have Blink or not. They're all softened up. Seems like HongUn is sort of in this weird position of just making 1 unit. It's like Stalkers, all Stalkers, and all Templars. Now, maybe you can get up here and actually target down a hatch. Well,
no, that's a smart move.
Well,
that's
they're all
definitely what he's going
stopping.
to want to do.
Stalker's like, I got to pee. Well, you don't get to pee, man.
The rest stops on Called Rim are closed, tasteless.
Oh, yeah. Now, see, he will get this. Now, this is something.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you can blink down here. Oh, look at you. Nice.
The Corruptor's just kind of following along. Really should be using Corruption, but not the biggest deal in the whole world.
It's kind of funny, actually, that he's actually managing to do this much damage with just a bunch of Stalkers. And he is at 150 supply. Targeting down that Infestor. Very nice.
Stalkers will not go away. In fact, he's still microing 2 Stalkers. And during all this, Tasteless, HongUn's setting up another base. Look at that.
Well,
guys, probe Congo line. They're on vacation for a little bit, but they'll be mining soon. The Centa probes. Ooh,
yeah,
I
man.
like that.
That's what we call them, man. Centa
That's
probes.
really good.
We're doing it.
Congratulations.
All commentators start calling them Centa probes.
It's a tasteless memo. All right, so Zenio, he's just letting all these bases come up, and it's like, if your opponent's actually going to outmine you and you're a Zerg player, that's not a good thing, Tasteless.
Yeah.
Not a good thing at all. And we do have a very funny unit composition here. A lot of speed Zealots mixed in. But that's actually going to do all right. It's not as roach heavy as it used to be. A lot of Zerglings and Hydras in there as well. 2-2 upgrades with +2 melee on the way against just 3-2 from HongUn. And HongUn now actually starting his plasma shields as he adds in more Archons.
This is not like the most delicate, perfect game.
No,
but it
not
is
at all.
a really interesting one.
It certainly is. We're seeing some...
a bit of a slugfest, but, It's an interesting
Some
slugfest.
odd moves are coming out of this game, Tasteless. And the Corruptors finally.
Oh, he's going to be careful. He's going to lose all these Corruptors.
You know, so few Colossus are out.
You know, at this point in time, he might as well stop making Colossus. I don't know why he keeps making this like one Colossus.
I wish that Zenio would just wait for a second and get a bigger group of units together.
Yeah, he's always attacking with a smaller number of units, and then eventually HongUn chases him home, and then HongUn overcommits, basically.
Yeah. Well, right now, Zenio is splitting him up. His army going one way and going to go with the counterattack. There's just one pylon.
Yeah, I mean, if he identifies that.
Yeah, if he realizes, hey, I can just kill this pylon, then.
He hasn't caught on just yet. Nice size storm. Oh, now that, it looks like he will build a warp in. I don't know if he might have said warp in more units there.
Another reason why killing that pylon would have been good, Tasteless.
Yep.
Nothing would have warped in. You actually would have easily taken that base out if you had.
Oh, nice. Little attack over here. However, you know, I think judging from the situation, Zenio had a lot of opportunities to win this, and he didn't maximize on those.
Well, looks like Zenio just cleaning up that little bit of army that's left. He's at 131 supply against the 171 of HongUn. HongUn even setting up another base right now. Zenio is kind of dead in the water. He's barely mining. So an okay drone saturation at basically one base. His third is just about mined out now. Zenio has almost no income.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of side storms that he can just plant right down here. No, there's not. He's not going to do it. I guess he doesn't have energy. So I think that's GG, unless I'm mistaken. I mean, yeah, look.
Yeah, that's it. No more mining bases, and HongUn has too much. And even after all of his huge blunders earlier on, he manages to defeat Zenio. I have to say, Zenio not playing his finest set today.
Well, I think this is one of the more disappointing games I think we'll ever see from Zenio here.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, Zenio is a very good player, and unfortunately, today he just did not perform, I think, to the best of his ability. Now we have Broodlords out, but this is way too late. I mean, if I saw those Broodlords and I was hung, and I just walk away. But he might not even have to do that, you know?
Yeah, well, that's actually the last stand right there. And in fact, with that many Archons and High Templars, he's just going to go for it. He says, forget it. You're done. I have the map. You have nothing. In fact, he's not even mining at this point. Just 87 minerals sitting around. And as Zenio loses this last army, Tasteless, he is going to have to GG and be out of the GSL.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
GG.
All right, GG.
And HongUn does advance 2-0. First game looking really strong. Second game, a lot of mistakes, but
you know, that game was kind of like watching two guys almost drown in a swimming pool, and eventually one gets out alive.
Yes.
It was a little bit. That's a nice watch. It was a little.
Oh, he's a Warcraft 3 player. That's something that they actually all have.
Poker or the Warcraft 3 players always have nice watches. No, but let's look at that game for a minute. That was a little bit weird. You know, it was nobody was bringing their A game, not even their B game. It was more like bringing their C game to the table. Somebody had to come out with a win, and eventually it was the person who made the least amount of mistakes.
Yeah. That's it, man. You summed it up. I have to say I'm disappointed with that set. I will not recommend that to anybody.
No.
Maybe game one by Hong, and that was okay, but not what you expect to see out of these guys, to be honest. Which leads me to the next match, Huck against MC. The winner of this, I feel, is going to be just like 5 levels above the winner of that last match, HongUn. So this match means even more now, Tasteless. This is, if you win this match, PvP, Huck against MC, tournament champions, and then you go against HongUn, someone who's just like, oh, you're good. Yeah, you're Code S. But
you're the lower level Code S player.
Yeah,
but, Huck and MC are real heavy hitters.
Yeah, I feel like whoever wins this is like, they're just probably watching and they're like, oh, if I win this round of 16, I'm actually top 4.
Exactly.
Bam.
Yes.
And then you're, you know, 2 cheeses and a legit win from $20,000, man.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, HongUn's walking past me. right now. Almost knocked the set over.
That was actually, he bumped in that tasteless. That was sloppy, just like that game.
It was a little bit sloppy.
His shirt is only half tucked in.
You know, it's weird. You know, we always talk about his Stalker Blink Micro, but it was interesting to see him default into Blink Micro when he's losing. You know what I mean?
It's what he's comfortable with. Hey.
I mean, he's like, I'm losing this game, but Stalkers are pretty good, so I'm going to make them. And, I mean, he won, so good for him, but you cannot, you do that against Nesty.
Lol.
I mean, Nesty, like,
do that against
kicks
Sandman.
his head back, like, wah. We're going to have a 5-minute break? Or we're actually going to have a 5-minute break this time, not a 2-minute break. So don't go too far away. We'll be back after 5 minutes here at the GSL. I'll see you soon for MC versus Huck.